Ronnie Coleman and Phil Heath, two of the most dominant forces in bodybuilding history. And these two versions are where they lost their titles. They both placed second. This is Ronnie Coleman, 2006. And Dr. Phil Heath, 2018. Ronnie Coleman, not to be confused with the 2007 version, which is very similar, but actually when you compare the two, quite smaller. But anyway, we'll bring the proper one back. So, Dr. Phil lost his PhD here. He lost his license to practice. And of course, Ronnie lost his crown. So he was no longer the king, and the doctor was no longer the doctor. Now, why is he no longer the doctor? Just in case any of you never figured this one out, it was Phil Heath domination from 2011 to 2018. And if you didn't figure that one out, Phil Heath domination, or PhD. And he lost his PhD. He lost the domination. But anyway, that's a little side note for you guys. Here in the front relaxed position, you can definitely see Ronnie Coleman. He always has the edge as far as the structure is concerned. And that's basically what I am judging when I did the original comparison between the 94 Ronnie Coleman and the 2008 Dr. Phil. And this one's the same. I'm not really judging it per se. This one's more to do with which guy hung on to their structure and their muscles better. And wow almighty, look at Ronnie Coleman here in this front double bicep pose. I mean, don't get me wrong. He definitely is displaying a bubble gut bonanza, as Louis Marco put it, as well as the doctor here. He's pregnant with a couple of buckets of chicken as well. But look at the vascularity level of the arms, the legs, everything of Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman dominant in every aspect of the arm except for those forearms. Look at the forearms of Dr. Phil. He needs more oil, I have to say. And some of you are saying it's just oil. That's part of bodybuilding, guys. It's the tan, the oil, the little tiny posing trunks. All of this it all goes in together. And I think Ronnie Coleman looks better in the front double bicep pose here. But I have to mention one thing about Dr. Phil is his calves. He should be praised about this, and I have not been mentioning the calves nearly as much as I could, even here in the front lat spread, now that I'm on the topic of the calves. That's the first thing I notice, and very, very weak set on Ronnie Coleman later on in his career. Of course, those quads are so dominant. It's funny, Dr. Phil's quads seem to melt. They've melted down. They got lower and lower. And look at the bubble gut bonanza here. I hate to steal phrases from Louis Marco. Actually, Phil Heath, he hung on to his lats better. And if we're talking front lat spread, then you have to give this one to the doctor as far as who hung on to their structure better. But look at the upper body muscles of the King Coleman, his chest and the arms, things of that nature. But anyway, guys, this, like I said, don't be getting mad at me about who I pick. Side chest pose. Ronnie Coleman looks like a big, giant beast here, but he is messier, if you know what I mean. It's a cleaner, neater pose for the doctors, better display, better tie-ins. Look at the muscle separation of the delts. But like I said, look at the size of Ronnie. Just a big beast altogether. But I think if you look at the original video between the 94 and 2008, I think the doctor hung on to his side chest pose a little bit better. Here we go with the side tricep. Oh my goodness. And if you guys watch Mikey's Iron Rage, he used to be Mikey from Mikey's Strength and Fitness. I just mentioned him because I like to do that impression. But no, I'm in all seriousness. He calls this one pancake time. You look at Ronnie Coleman's tricep. You get it? It's a flat pancake. He sees it. He goes, oh, it's pancake time. That's hilarious. But in all seriousness, the doctor brought his PhD to the 2018 bodybuilding stage as far as this pose is concerned. Look at that tricep, strided to a T. And Coleman's tricep was always strided, but it was pancake time, flat. Look at the bubble gut bonanza presented here by both gentlemen. 19, 20, 24 buckets of KFC chicken. Back developments. And I will get criticized on how I size these guys. Ronnie Coleman is shorter here because he's crouching at the knees. I could have even made him shorter, really. But we're looking at the condition. As far as conditioning is concerned, Ronnie he brought it, as far as the cool people say. Yo, he brought it, man. Dog. Anyway, I'm a country bumpkin. I don't say dog or Holmes or anything like that. I say man. We say man in Canada because pot is legal. Either way, let's have a look at the mandatory shots. And the doctor, he did bring it here. Look at this back development. Just awesome. Again, I had to screw around with the sizes here. I could have even made Ronnie a little smaller here because he is crouching big time. That back development of poor Ronnie. This is why he lost the title, I think. Just a terrible, terrible display. When you look at his former lat spreads, his left lat is gone. The top of it, the bottom of it, it's just gone. Anyway, he did bring his condition, though, so we can't be mad at him. I think that missing lat is even more prominent, if that can be, here in the rear double bicep for poor Ronnie Coleman. It is plain to see why he lost the title. It's no mystery at all. Now, Dr. Phil, you cannot say that he lost the title due to his muscles or his atrophy of the muscles. It was the bubble gut bonanza, and from the back shots, in my opinion, he was still destroying Sean Roden. But that's not the case here. This is a Ronnie Coleman Dr. Phil comparison. And the doctor, and I know you Ronnie Coleman minions hate this when I say this, but Ronnie Coleman is losing big time to Dr. Phil in this back shot. And that was the impression of me from even these guys in their prime. The best Dr. Phil against the best Ronnie Coleman. Phil is just too symmetrical. He's too clean, too neat. But anyway, let's not waste too much time on the back shots. Let's go to the ab and thigh. And oh my goodness, look at the doctor here. Hey, wait, the number's different. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's jerking me around. They put the 2008 Dr. Phil here. Foolishness. Let's bring back the original, the 2018 Phil, and whoever did it, they even made him a lot bigger too. So they were totally jerking Ronnie Coleman around. I think Ronnie looks better in this one when you look at the quad sweep. I mentioned earlier that quad was really melting down, and if you didn't see when I showed the 2000, I just let the cat out of the bag. It was me that put that there. And when I put the 2008 Dr. Phil there, you could see his quad was way high up, and now it's melted way down low. And he's got the bubble gut bonanza. I think the overall silhouette of Ronnie King Coleman is probably just as good, the proportions, that is, of the original ab and thigh. Of course, he's not as cut in the abs. Most muscular, and I struggled with the sizes of this one, because Coleman, he presents a just massive package. And Dr. Phil, his clavicle is so small that he crouches away in this pose. So it was hard to get the sizes correctly. Look at the calves. I've never seen the calves in a most muscular pose before or noticed them. But look at that. Ronnie Coleman, just a terrible, terrible set of calves. And when you're talking Olympia champions, you got to think him, Dexter Jackson, maybe even Sean Roden, some of the worst sets of calves in Olympia history. And you could not put Dr. Phil in that grouping. Here's the crab position. Now, I think this one does favor the big King Coleman. The calves are less of a factor in this one. The delts, the arms, just everything overall better. And of course, the chest. I focus more on the chest than any other muscle perhaps in this most muscular pose. And even the gut, the way the lights hitting Dr. Phil's stomach here. It was just a bad night for him. He was big in the waistline. Coleman, structurally better in my opinion. He always was, and that's why I gave him the nod in the 94 versus 2008, because I was judging their structures, and this time I'm judging who hung on to their muscle, who hung on to their structure better. And I have to say, Phil Heath wins this round. His back development, Ronnie Coleman was falling apart, things of that nature. Both of them are displaying quite the big rotund Buddha bellies here in these pictures, but I'll end it at that. No disrespect meant to these grand champions. Dr. Phil lost his PhD. The king lost his crown. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Hit thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Have a great day.